It's a shame. It really, really is a shame. It's a sad thing. After this week, after week 4, we are a third of the way done for the majority of football teams. They've played 4 games. They only have 8 games left. That is 33% of the season. Gonzos. That's a shame. What also is a shame is that many of you are unsubscribed. You're not subscribed. Go ahead and do that down below. Subscribe, like this video, comment down below, and I will get a response to you. Also, third thing that is a shame is that we have our first ever lost footage in the history of the Ian Fritts Show. We have already done this show one time. And because I'm so dedicated to the craft, we had to reshoot it. The microphone died mid-shoot, and I go to look at the footage afterwards, and sure enough, it's just me doing this. And if you are listening on podcast, it was just me mouthing. There was no words coming out because you couldn't hear any words. Without further ado, though, we have a lot to talk about. Week 4 of college football is here, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we are on the heels of what I deemed one of the greatest college football Saturdays of all time in week 3, and I still believe that to be true. It was unbelievable. Will we have the same week 3 situation here? Will we have a week 4 that lives up to all the hype? I don't know if we will get that exact same thing. However, I think the games in week 4 are quality games. I think we have a lot to look forward to and a lot to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. Bye weeks are in full swing. There are many teams that aren't playing this weekend, which is also a shame. Maybe shame is the theme of today's show. We have teams that aren't playing this week, which stinks. And we also have conference play. Conference play is in full swing. Yes, I know we've had conference games the last week or two. However, the majority of teams are now, the games moving forward are conference games. I'd say for about 90% of the country, it's a conference game this weekend. Get ready to roll, because if you lose a game in conference, boom, your chances of winning the conference go down exponentially, okay? Let's lock in. We have game previews, 3 of them coming at your way. We have the picks for every top 25 teams game this weekend, and then we have upset alerts. Here we go, folks. First game up. It was going nowhere other than Auburn at Oklahoma. Oklahoma minus 6.5. They opened at minus 4.5. It's already moved up to 6.5 as we stand right now. Everyone's already talking about it. The storyline in this game. It's been a storyline since Jackson Arnold transferred to Auburn late in the winter last year at the conclusion of the 2024 football season, regular season. Is this a Jackson Arnold revenge game? Some are saying this could be where Jackson Arnold goes into Norman, Oklahoma, and he exacts his revenge on the Sooners for wanting him out of there, not wanting him to stay around and be their quarterback of the future. Okay? However, I'm not sure exactly what revenge Jackson Arnold was trying to get on Oklahoma. They didn't do anything to him. In fact, I would say this is more of an Oklahoma revenge game. This is a game where Oklahoma, the coach is there, the people there, the offensive staff there, the offensive coach is there, the fans in Norman, Oklahoma, Oklahoma as an entire state. This is a revenge game for you people. You people want to exact revenge on the war crimes Jackson Arnold did to your program last year. This is a revenge game for Oklahoma, not Jackson Arnold. Come on. Oklahoma needs the revenge on what Jackson Arnold did last year, giving the ball to the other team left and right, willy-nilly, like it was free money he just wanted to give away because he's so charitable. No. Jackson Arnold, that's the ball. You want to keep the ball. We're not giving this away like it's charity, okay? No. War crimes by Jackson Arnold last year at Oklahoma. Oklahoma wants revenge. As you all know, the order of how I approach these game previews, I talk about some things I think I know about these two teams through X amount of weeks, and then I have a couple questions for each of the teams through 3 weeks, and a question that revolves mainly around the game, what we can expect in the game on Saturday afternoon. First up, Auburn. As usual, we start with the visiting team. First thing I know about Auburn through 3 weeks of the 2025 college football season, the Auburn Tigers run the football really well, and they love to run the football, okay? Look, Through 3 weeks, it's clear, it's obvious. Their main mode of attack on offense right now is pound the rock. Pound it. Pound the rock right at you. That's what the Auburn Tigers want to do, and they do it extremely well through 3 weeks of the season. Now, have they faced an Oklahoma defense? No. Now, is that just because their run game is so good that they make the defenses they face look bad? Especially rush defenses? Possibly. Possibly. We will find out on Saturday afternoon. That's the beauty of college football is we can ask all these questions. We can speculate all we want to. You got to go out there and win a football game on Saturday. You got to go out there, Auburn Tigers, and you got to run against this Oklahoma defense that isn't allowing anybody to run on them. You got to go out there and prove it. Prove that you're not lying to us through 3 weeks of the college football season. That's the one thing I know about Auburn right now is they're a run-first football team, and they run it extremely well. The second thing I know about Auburn is that Keldrick Falk, defensive end, is an unbelievable football player. The man is built out of a lab, folks. He is what you would want in a defensive end at the next level, at the NFL level. He's strong. He attacks off the ball. He has good moves to get around the offensive tackles and get to the quarterback. He has speed. I still think and daydream about a play he made in the Baylor game where Baylor's running back, wide receiver, one of the two, got around the edge, got outside. It looked like this guy's scoring a touchdown, folks. No. Keldrick Falk comes across the field, running him down. 250-pound guy running past people, dives, trips him up, and saves the touchdown. That's Keldrick Falk right there. Now, you're thinking, Ian, what do you know about him besides that he's a physical specimen and he looks great in a football uniform? I know that this man has the potential, not saying it will happen, he has the potential to take over this football game. He's going to be lined up against a true freshman left tackle for Oklahoma most of this football game. They even may move him inside and try and get some matchups in the interior of Oklahoma's offensive line. If they have another true freshman starting at right guard, which may be the case barring injuries on Oklahoma's offensive line, offensive front through 3 weeks right now. Still developing story. They may be without their starting right guard, Fabechi Weewu, Oklahoma that is, and they may slide Keldrick Falk in there, get a mismatch on a true freshman right guard. Keldrick Falk has the potential to take over this football game for Auburn. Those are the two things I know about Auburn through 3 weeks of this college football season. Let's talk about OU for a second. What do I know about this Oklahoma Sooner football team, ranked number 11 in the country? I know that Brent Venables has this defense humming. I mean, humming. They are a well-oiled machine, probably the most well-oiled machine in the state of Oklahoma in quite some time. And there's a lot of well-oiled machines. See what I did there? In the state of Oklahoma. They might have the best one right now in Norman. And it's that defensive unit. Brent Venables has those boys flying around the football. They play fast. They play with anticipation. They play with aggression. That's the defense for Oklahoma right now. And I believe that we know that 23 points should be good enough for the offense right now for Oklahoma to win a football game because that defense is so good right now. That's the first thing I know about Oklahoma. Second thing I know about Oklahoma is that their quarterback, John Mateer, we already feel good about him going into this game. He's leading, I believe he's second or first in the Heisman odds, depending on where you look. So we already feel good about him. I believe after this football game, we will feel even better about Jackson Arnold. I think not Jackson Arnold, Freudian slip there. Maybe just because that fell out of me, maybe we will end up feeling better about Jackson Arnold, and that is probably the key to success for Auburn in this football game. But I was talking about John Mateer. We will feel even better about John Mateer in this football game at the conclusion of this game. Come 6 o'clock Saturday afternoon, we will say, hey, man, John Mateer, you're clearly the Heisman front runner, and I don't think it's particularly close. That's what I think I know about Oklahoma through 3 weeks of the season. Biggest questions. We'll start with Auburn. Speaking of Jackson Arnold, speak of the devil for some Oklahoma fans. Speak of the devil right here. Does Jackson Arnold still have turnover issues? Okay. You look at his statistics through 3 weeks of the season, you would say, Ian, no, that's a terrible question. And I would get back to you with, did you see him through 3 weeks last season? He had 1 interception through 3 weeks last year. His statistics, passing yards, total yards, completion percentage, touchdown to interception ratio, ground game yards, and rushing touchdowns are virtually identical through 3 weeks of an Auburn Tiger and through 3 weeks as an Oklahoma Sooner last year. They're virtually identical. And we all know what happened after that third week. The turnovers started coming in bunches. He started handing them out like free candy on Halloween. This man was trying. He had an abundance of candy, and he was like, "Hey, you get a candy. You get a candy. You want 4 candies? You can have 4 candies." That was Jackson Arnold last year. Not on Halloween. I'm not sure what he was doing on Halloween. Probably giving away the football. Probably turning the ball over. Is that still in him? Or has Hugh Freeze kind of coached that out of him? Is it still in him? If it's a yes, if that's still in him, it's going to be a long day for the Auburn Tiger fan base. Okay, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day. If it's not in him, Auburn has every chance to win this football game. Jackson Arnold doesn't turn this ball over, you're in a dogfight with Oklahoma Sooners. Okay, because your defense is good enough to be in a dogfight, and your quarterback's not turning the ball over. And you're going to pound it right at him. You're going to play keep away. You're going to be in a low-scoring football game, which is where you want to be as an Auburn Tiger this year. Biggest question for Oklahoma. Is the secondary as good as they seem to be through 3 weeks? Okay, through 3 weeks, statistically, they're one of the best secondaries, one of the best passing defenses in all of college football. Now, I know they haven't played anybody that can test them through the air. I know, okay? That's not a surprise to me. I know that. However, statistically, that's what they are. They are one of the best secondaries, one of the best pass defenses in all of college football. Now, the reason it's a question is because I know who they've played. I've watched them play every game. I know that they haven't been tested. Auburn and Jackson Arnold, he has the weapons to test those guys. They will be tested. Now, if the answer to this question is yes, they actually are that good, they are scary good, then Oklahoma might win this game by 50. 50 might be an exaggeration. 20. They might win this game by 20 and send Auburn packing pretty quickly in this football game. If the answer is no, then Auburn could win this game by 10. That secondary is not what we thought it was, and Jackson Arnold's picking them apart. Could be a long day for Oklahoma Sooners, and it could be a sad day to see Jackson Arnold do that to his former team, your team, the team that the quarterback you want to get revenge on, to see him picking you apart. Now, who do I have winning this football game? I have the Oklahoma Sooners winning at home. It's going to be a big advantage. The crowd's going to be going crazy. They don't want Jackson Arnold to succeed in this football game. Maybe some of them do in the long term at Auburn. Not this year. Not in this game. They want Jackson Arnold's downfall on Saturday afternoon. Next game up, Texas Tech Red Raiders at the Utah Utes. Utah minus 4.5. They are favored in this one. I believe that line might have moved to 3.5 since the lost recording has happened. So just be aware of the numbers on my screen and in the pick segment here in a little bit, and the numbers I'm telling you. It subject to change as always when we come to betting. Is this a Big 12 championship preview? Is that what we got on our hands on Saturday morning, 10 a.m. kick over there in Utah? Is that what we got? We got a Big 12 championship preview here. I believe they are second and third, maybe first and second. And the Big 12 championship odds. We could have Big 12 championship preview on Saturday in September. How exciting is that, ladies and gentlemen? That is exciting. Get up for that, Utah fans, Texas Tech fans. Everybody needs to be watching this football game on Saturday. Big noon kickoff. They're heading there. If we were available to head there, we would. But we're booked up on Saturday. We will be watching this one from the couch. The Ian Fritts Show will. Both teams hit the portal, and they hit that. One team hit it a lot harder and with a lot more money than another team, Texas Tech. But one team hit it at the one position they really needed to, and that was Utah. They hit it at the quarterback position, and we'll talk about Devin Dampier here in a second because he needs his own segment in this show. That's how good that guy is. We're going to move right into what I know about these two teams through 3 weeks. And let me just preface this with, we don't know a lot about these two teams. They haven't played really anybody. Texas Tech, they played Kent State. They played Oregon State. Not great. Not great quality of opponent through 3 weeks. Utah, not much better. Not much better. They played a Wyoming team, which out of all 6 teams that these two teams have played, I think Wyoming is probably the best team. And again, it's Wyoming. Not the greatest litmus test for either of these two teams. Doesn't matter. They're playing each other on Saturday Again, what I alluded to earlier, you're going to have to go out there on Saturdays, and you're going to have to win the football games. What do I know about Texas Tech through 3 weeks? What do I think I know? I don't know if anything is definitive with these two football teams just yet, so I will preface it with what do I think I know through 3 weeks. I think I know that the offense from the Texas Tech Red Raiders, especially through the air, is a lethal weapon. Okay, I believe what I've seen is they have studs at wide receiver, they have studs at tight end, and they have a potential stud at quarterback in Baron Morton. Now, some of you are thinking who've been here a long time, I thank you. Thank you for being loyal to the channel. You're thinking, Ian, didn't you have Baron Morton kind of in the mid-level quarterback tier when you ranked all the quarterbacks in college football? Yes, I did, ladies and gentlemen. And he has not played to a mid-level quarterback through 3 games of this season. Again, he's playing a bunch of trash cans out there, a bunch of dummies out there on the teams he's played. However, you've done what you needed to do, Baron Morton. Against the dummies you're playing right now, you've done what you needed to do. So I think this offense from Texas Tech is lethal, and I think it's for real. Okay, again, I don't know that for real, but I think I do. We will find out on Saturday against the Utah Ute defense. Okay, what do I think I know about Utah? And I'm going to actually go out on a limb here and say I know for real. I know definitively about Utah that Devin Dampier, quarterback for the Utah Utes, is for real. He is the real deal. He is a showstopper. He makes plays where your jaw drops to the floor, folks. That's how good this Devin Dampier for the Utah Utes is, okay? There will be plays on Saturday. He had a play last week against Wyoming where he kind of fumbled the snap. Maybe it was a bad snap. Kind of rolled on the ground a little bit. And he picked up the football. He kind of did a little dancey dance. You do a little dancey dance in the backfield. He ran around back there, booted out to his right. This is maybe on the 15-yard line. He backs up to about the 30, and he laser beams a football right in there on the sideline. Touchdown, Utah. One of the best plays in all of college football this season, and it was from Utah's quarterback, Devin Dampier. He's going to have a couple plays like that against Texas Tech. And he has a little Cam Ward in him. A little Cam Ward. I'm not saying the potential is that high with Devin Dampier that it was with Cam Ward. Obviously, Cam Ward was the number 1 pick in the entire country in the NFL draft. I'm not saying it's that high, but he's got a little wiggle in him. He's got a little playmaker in him, a little gunslinger in him like Cam Ward does. He's incredible. He's incredible. That's what I know about Utah. Biggest questions for these two teams on Saturday morning. For Texas Tech, is the defense this improved? Has it improved as much as the statistics tell us? Similarly to OU's secondary and OU's pass defense, Texas Tech's defense as a whole has statistically been one of the best units in all of college football. And it could be statistically even better. They've given up a lot of garbage time touchdowns with their 5th-string secondary, 5th-string defensive tackles in there. So they've given up a lot when, there were 3 minutes left in the football game. So statistically, it could be a lot better. Is it really that good? Again, I don't think we know the answer to this question, but we will find out on Saturday because they got to go against Devin Dampier, who I just compared to Cam Ward. If I'm comparing him to Cam Ward and you stop him, ho, baby, is this a national title contender, Texas Tech? Okay, so if the answer is yes, the defense is much improved and it is statistically that good, everybody needs to watch out the Texas Tech Red Raiders. As much as it pains me to say sometimes, they are coming, and they are coming fast. Now, if it's not this good, I still think you can rely on that offense to win you a lot of football games and compete in the Big 12. Biggest question for Utah, it really doesn't have anything to do with the football team. I have a bunch of questions, but my biggest one is what the atmosphere is going to be like, okay? It's going to be a 10 a.m. kick there in Utah. Not ideal. Not ideal for atmosphere. Not ideal for vibes, okay? 10 a.m. is not a great time to kick off a football game, in my opinion. Some people love a 10 a.m. kick. Just me, I don't. What happens if Texas Tech goes up 14-0? Does the crowd kind of just quiet down? Or is the crowd non-existent anymore if you go down 14 at home at 10 a.m.? Is it kind of a sleepy crowd? What happens? What happens if you go down 14-0 early in this one? If you go up 14-0, I think we'll know the crowd will be rocking. But if you go down early, what's that crowd going to be like? What's the atmosphere like in Utah on Saturday morning? That's my biggest question for Utah. I have a bunch of questions for them, but we will get them all answered. But that's my biggest one. I'm really curious about this atmosphere. If it's a really good atmosphere, Texas Tech, that's going to be a hard place to go and win especially at 10 a.m. You got to travel there early morning. You're probably going to be sleepy just like those Utah fans might be. If the atmosphere's no good, Texas Tech, hey, treat it like any other road game. Normally that Utah atmosphere is hard to play in. This isn't a night game, though. Not a night game. 10 a.m. Basically barely an afternoon, mid-morning game. This is a breakfast game. You could be eating breakfast watching this football game. I'm confused on who I think will win this game. It's really weird. You can't even talk sometimes, and you can't catch lightning in a bottle twice. So sometimes, I try to say something and it doesn't come out at all. Okay, just a mumble words. Okay, just bleh bleh. It happens to all of us. So if you're at home talking and you try to say a sentence and it didn't come out the right way, that's okay. It happens to all of us. I'm confused on who's going to win this football game, mainly because we have so many questions about these teams. They haven't played anybody. They played a bunch of trash cans, tomato cans, a bunch of non-existent football teams, frankly, through 3 weeks of this college football season. However, I have to pick somebody to win. I will pick the Utah Utes to win this football game, mainly because it's at home. That's my main reason. Third game up. Let me take a sip here. While I take a second sip here in a second, subscribe down below. And if you want one of these mugs, put your email down below. We'll have some email correspondence, and we'll get you a mug. We will get you a mug. Okay. Illinois at Indiana. Indiana, the Hoosiers, at home, Saturday night kick. Big-time football game for both of these programs. This is a top 20 matchup. Illinois, I believe, is ranked number 9. Indiana, I think, is number 19. And you're thinking, let me just ask you a question for you casual viewers out there. Who's favored in this football game? I just told you the Illinois Fighting Illini are ranked number 9. And Indiana is ranked number 19. You're thinking 10 spot difference. Illinois is probably favored, right, Ian? Try again. You had the 50-50 shot, so you should probably get it this second time. What's that? Illinois? No, wrong again. Wrong again. Indiana is favored in this football game. Indiana, -4.5. We don't know anything about these two football teams either. Okay, Indiana's played maybe the worst schedule in all of college football through 3 weeks. So I'm not sure I know anything. However, I think I know one thing about each of these two teams, and I think I know that there's going to be high-level quarterback play from both of these football teams. From both of these quarterbacks, we will get high-level, very good quarterback play from Luke Altmaier for Illinois and for Fernando Mendoza for Indiana. I think we can expect that on Saturday night. That's what I know. What I have, my biggest question is, who's got the better defense, okay? Because I think the better defense wins this football game on Saturday. And I believe right now, through 3 weeks, I think we can, statistically, it would tell you Indiana's better defense. However, I'm not sure Indiana's played an offense that would beat some of the teams Texas Tech has played. Okay, and Texas Tech has a weak schedule. I'm not sure the schedule. Indiana State is who Indiana played last week. Indiana State might be the worst football team I've ever laid eyes on. They're that bad. They are so horrifically bad. This is a huge game for both of these teams. Indiana, you schedule a bunch of cupcakes through 3 weeks, but then you get gifted a top 10 team at home and you win, and then for the rest of the season, Kurt Cignetti, all he has to say is, hey, remember back in week 4? We beat a top 10 football team. You all thought they were a top 10 football team, and we beat them. Who cares who we played in the non-conference? We beat a top 10 football team. We beat them. That's us, Indiana. We beat that team. Not anybody else. We did. We beat them. For Illinois, you go in there, get a top 20 win. You're not even favored. Vegas doesn't even think you're going to win this game. You go in, you can say you were underdogs. People are doubting you. That's bulletin board material. All you got to do if you're the head coach of Illinois right now, if you're Brett Berlima, all you got to say is, hey, nobody thinks we're going to win this football game. Enough. I believe you're going to win this football game because I believe you have a better defense. Illinois, I believe you will win this football game outright on the road. Indiana Hoosiers going out, getting out of the top 25. Get them out of there. Give me Illinois Fighting the Illini to beat the Hoosiers. Next up, we have all of the game picks. If you're new here, I pick each ranked team's game every weekend from week 0 all the way to the national championship game. We have, I believe we are above 500 by 8 games through 3 weeks, technically 4 if you count week 0. Through 3 weeks of this season, we are up 8 games above 500, so it's been a good season. Last week was phenomenal for us. We are just hitting our stride because the first couple weeks, you're getting your feet wet, getting it under you, trying to get a pulse on who these teams are, and we are there right now. We are there. First up, I already told you Utah's winning. However, give me Texas Tech plus 4.5. Now, let me just say this. If you're new here, I only pick based on my gut instinct. You tell me, hey, Ian, it's Texas Tech at Utah, minus 4.5 for Utah. And I just give you my first gut instinct. That's what I do. It's gut instinct because that's what I trust. I trust my gut. It is correct more often than not. Tennessee, minus 36.5. It's the Volunteers. Oregon at home, rivalry game. You're thinking, oh, yeah, you're probably taking Oregon State. No, Oregon State's booty cheeks. Booty cheeks. Florida State, minus 42.5. No brainer. Tulane, plus 12.5 at Ole Miss. We'll talk about that game here in a second, more in depth. Michigan on the road at Nebraska, minus 2.5. A lot of people are picking Nebraska. I see the Cornhuskers as a popular pick this weekend. I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening at all. Notre Dame, Fighting Irish, minus 26.5. It's a bounce back. Your first win in the season, if you're a Notre Dame fan, is against the Purdue Boilermakers. Not how you wanted the season to start. However, you cover, so that's fun. Georgia Tech, minus 23.5 at home against Temple. This is one where my gut was very strong. Boom, punched me right at the beginning, and it said Georgia Tech minus 23.5. And then as I'm setting this up, I had my brain try to come in here and say, Ian, no. Take Temple plus 23.5. Ignore that. Ignore the brain. Go with the gut. Mizzou minus 12.5, free money. Miami minus 8.5, free money. I believe that's dipped to 7.5, so get it at 7.5. That's awesome. That is great value. Last 6 games here. Auburn at OU. I already picked OU to win the game, and I believe OU covers that 6.5. Illinois, I picked them to win, so obviously I'm picking them plus 4.5. Vandy at home, give me a minus 26.5. Vandy, quality team this year. Quality team. Sam Houston at Texas, minus 41.5. This is one where you're like, yeah, Sam Houston 0-3. They stink. They haven't beat anybody, and they look horrible. However, I'm not sure Texas will score 40. Give me Sam Houston, plus 41.5. LSU, no line on that one yet, so give me LSU. And then Michigan State at USC, plus 16.5. I believe that's moved to 17.5, so you can even get more value there. I like Michigan State in that one. Going to take a sip here before we talk about upset alerts. So how I do my upset alerts on this show is, I pick 4 or 5 games, however many games I want to, and I put them on here. We already went over the lines for some of these. It's 17.5 Michigan State, 12.5 Tulane, 8.5 for Florida, 12.5 for South Carolina. So I pick games that are above a touchdown, and that qualifies to me as an upset alert worthy game to talk about. It's above a touchdown. So likelihood of upset to happen in my mind, we have Tulane at Ole Miss, Michigan State at USC, Florida at Miami, and then South Carolina at Missouri. Again, I'm going to put a caveat on that South Carolina at Missouri game. If Lenore Sellers is back, that one I think moves up to maybe 2 in terms of how that upset could happen. However, it doesn't look likely that he will play on Saturday, concussion protocol. So that one seems to me to be the least likely, South Carolina at Missouri. As far as Tulane at Ole Miss's defense is Swiss cheese right now, ladies and gentlemen. You can do whatever you want. And the former BYU, Jake Retzlaff, quarterback for Tulane, remember he was the BYU at BYU last year? He is now Julane down there in Tulane. The man can run all over the place, can make all the throws. I like Tulane to cover that 12.5, as we mentioned earlier. And this is a major upset alert for Ole Miss. You're coming off a big, hard-fought win against Arkansas last weekend. I don't love it. Upset alert going off. Michigan State, Jordan Childs. Excuse me, not Jordan Childs. That's a gymnast, I believe. USA, gold medal winner. Maybe some sort of medal winner. Michigan State, Aiden Childs. I'm not sure there's any relation there. Going to USC, going to Southern California. I'm not sure there will be any fans at this game. But 17.5, that's just a lot of points for a Power 5 game. So I like that when you're handing me that many points. As far as Florida, Miami, I just keep coming back that Florida's defense is really good. They've shown that through 3 weeks. That's a really good deep group on defense. So they have potential to make some things happen. I don't think they will. Obviously, I took Miami minus the points. I don't think it'll happen, but it could. That's why it's number 3 for me. That is the upset alerts. That is the picks. Those are the game previews. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Subscribe down below, comment, and I will get back to you. I love you guys. Bye.
Whoa, he has trouble with the snap, and the ball is free. It's picked up by Michigan State's Jalen Watts Jackson, and he scores on the last play of the game.
45, 40, 45, 50, 45. There it goes.